Songs about genuine love and cowboy music are what I have in mind. The reason why love songs are my favorite, I think, is because it is my firm belief that love songs have universal appeal. They stick around for a bit longer and usually last a while. From the harsh deserts of Arizona, how did a young man who had little become a great country music star and a courageous NASCAR driver? Despite the personal traumas and unending physical struggles that Marty Robbins endured, his life was an incredible adventure consumed by the spotlight of the stage and the thrill of the track. Whether it was historic classics like Big Iron or El Paso or exhilarating laps around the track, Robbins enthusiastically embraced every minute. Unfortunately, his brief but remarkable life was cut short when he died suddenly of a third heart attack just days after completing his final album. Let us delve into the personal story of Marty Robbins, a man who transformed every adversity into timeless music and whose untimely demise left an indelible mark. Marty Robbins' humble beginnings began in a dusty desert town where he was born, Martin David Robbins, on September 26, 1925, in Glendale, Arizona. The abusive father of the large and impoverished Robbins family, Jack Robbins, was a terrible alcoholic whose harsh behavior caused Marty irreparable emotional harm. From an early point, Marty realized that he had to find a method to leave the stifling atmosphere of their cramped house on his own. In 1937, when Marty was 12 years old, his parents divorced. His mother, Emma, was an independent woman who raised her children while working as a laundress. Every day, Marty and his siblings had to fight for survival in the rundown house they resided in Glendale. Because she instilled a sense of resilience in her children, Emma quickly became Marty's primary inspiration. Despite Marty's challenging background, there were also meaningful and uplifting moments. His grandpa, Texas Bob Heckel, had a multi-talented career as a healer, marketer, and storyteller in the area. Around a crackling campfire, Texas Bob would spin tales of the American West, where brave cowboys faced danger and gunslingers battled in the blinding heat. Marty was captivated by these vivid tales, which inspired numerous of his popular songs like Big Iron. In retrospect, Marty said, "My grandfather's stories inspired what I wrote. It's true, I can't think of any greater memories from that time in my life. But the harsh facts of life left little room for dreams for Marty." Following his parents' divorce, he dropped out of Glendale High School to focus on supporting his family. Driving trucks, excavating ditches, delivering ice, and assisting mechanics were just a few of the tough jobs that Marty took on. These formative years of hard labor in the scorching Arizona sun not only taught him perseverance, but also the drive to seize every opportunity that came his way. Marty found that chance when he enlisted in the United States military at the age of 17. Navy during the height of WWII, serving as a coxswain on LCT boats in the Solomon Islands in the Pacific. Despite all the difficulties he had faced before, Marty discovered his true love music amidst the rigors of wartime life. To pass the time during the long hours, he composed his first songs, learned to play guitar, and absorbed the Hawaiian music he heard from the locals. This challenging yet formative environment was where his musical talent was first nurtured. Marty Robbins had both hope and harsh realities in his early years. Through his exposure to his grandfather's Western tales, the sweltering fields, and the haunting music of his Navy days, Marty honed a resilience that refused to be defined by adversity. These formative experiences laid the groundwork for his meteoric rise to stardom and recognition. Upon his 1947 return from World War II, Marty Robbins brought a guitar and the initial songs he had composed while serving. But his hometown of Glendale, Arizona, where he spent his formative years, was no picnic either. Even though he knew he would still be poor in the end, Marty was resolute in his pursuit of fame and fortune. Marty first gained fame when he played in Phoenix nightclubs and small bars where his vibrant guitar sounds were heard. However, a snag existed. His mother, Emma, was dead set against him performing in public venues like these. To avoid her, Marty assumed the identity of Jack Robinson, his theatrical name. He was able to experiment with his approach and find his performing voice under this guise, which also helped him hide his musical pursuits. The locals took notice of Marty's abilities quickly. His warm baritone voice, emotionally charged performances, and natural talent for connecting with audiences helped him begin to gather a tiny following at local events. The turning point in Marty's career came when he started appearing on Phoenix's KTYL radio and later the Western Caravan television program on KPHO-TV. Thanks to this forum, he was able to refine his musical persona and connect with a larger audience. The turning point came in 1951 when then Western Caravan singer Marty Robbins met future Grand Ole Opry member and budding country music star Jimmy Dickens. Thanks to Dickens' contacts, Marty was able to land a recording deal with Columbia Records after he immediately recognized his aptitude. From the humble settings of Arizona to the dazzling lights of Nashville, this was Marty's ticket to a greater stage. Although there were many obstacles along the way to success, Marty never gave up. He gradually became known as an incredibly creative and versatile musician through his late-night performances at seedy pubs. The opportunity with Columbia Records not only confirmed his talent, but also proved that his ambitions were within reach. Marty continued to chronicle stories of love, pain, and steadfast aspirations in every song. These songs began to resonate with listeners, paving the way for his legendary career. Anyone who has ever listened to a Marty Robbins song and felt it really connected with them is witnessing the power of a legend in action today. It wasn't just music that Marty wrote. He spoke from the heart about the struggles of regular people, of us all. Mark Robbins' impressive professional achievements. After a determined beginning, Marty Robbins' career skyrocketed. He soared from humble beginnings performing in Arizona clubs to become an iconic figure in American country music as a result of his inherent talent, unfaltering commitment, and unique sound. Along this moving journey, his music and the stories he told through it created an energetic and lasting impact. In 1952, Marty Robbins would go down in country music history as the man whose first record, I'll Go On Alone, reached the top spot. The heartfelt tune and its moving lyrics won over listeners right away. Singing the Blues, A White Sports Coat, and A Pink Carnation were among Marty's subsequent hit songs. With Singing the Blues, he began a successful crossover career. The song reached number 17 on the mainstream charts and number 1 on the country charts. A Pink Carnation and A White Sports Coat added to the song's iconic status, which it achieved after selling millions of copies and becoming a mainstay of 1950s American music. At the height of her career, Marty Robbins published El Paso in 1959. It was a masterwork that depicted love and tragedy in the American Southwest. The song became a phenomenon due to its captivating melody and poignant story, which catapulted it from country music to the top of the national pop charts. El Paso, Marty's breakthrough album that broke into the pop market and earned him the first Grammy for country music, made him the first country performer to achieve this feat. As they listened, they were transported to a vivid drama where the anguish and intense love were front and center. In addition to establishing Marty as a legendary figure in country music, this single paved the way for other country artists to achieve global stardom. Another one of Marty's 1961 shockers was Don't Worry, a song with a distinctive distorted guitar effect. A musical revolution ensued as a result of this fortunate event. Marty was cool with the unique tone and kept it in the final mix, even though the guitar sound was damaged during recording because of a blown fuse. The result was an enormous hit that dominated the charts and heralded a new era of musical experimentation, which in turn sparked innovations in country music's sound. It was a great age for Marty Robbins in the 1960s. He released over 31 country singles that decade, with several reaching the top of the mainstream charts. Devil Woman, Ribbon of Darkness, and Big Iron are some of the band's all-time favorite songs. The raw emotion and moving music of Devil Woman, which dealt with themes of love and betrayal, had a lasting impression on viewers. Big Iron, meantime, transported listeners to Marty's formative years in the company of his grandfather and heroic Western tales. A product of Marty's ability to channel his inner turmoil into music, Ribbon of Darkness struck a chord with audiences despite its tumultuous origins. Not content to just sing and play guitar, Marty Robbins also appeared in other Westerns, such as Hell on Wheels 1967 and Ballad of a Gunfighter 1964. These roles showcased Marty's adaptability and his enduring devotion to Western culture, which he had cultivated since he was a little boy, even though his film career was not as successful as his music career. These performances not only gave Marty a chance to show off his creative side, but they also brought in more people, particularly those who appreciate American Western culture. Marty Robbins' influence extended well beyond the United States. The English-speaking countries, such as the UK and Australia, responded well to his music, especially El Paso, due to his unique storytelling and expressive voice. His captivating tales and heartfelt melodies encapsulated the essence of American country music, and Marty's impact reached people around the globe. With an unyielding will and boundless imagination, Marty Robbins composed hits that will last forever. Throughout his career, he left an indelible mark, further establishing himself as a prominent character in popular culture. The fact that Marty Robbins lived out his storylines in his music, marriage, and personal life ensured that his legacy would endure for decades. Marty Robbins' life extended beyond the glittering lights of the stage and the thunderous roar of packed grandstands. Hidden behind the artist's gifted exterior was a man who had overcome immense personal sorrow, emotional anguish, and adversity. Every aspect of Marty's life was complicated, from the stresses of a demanding job and a declining health to the dangers of the racetrack. Marizona Baldwin had been Marty's partner since the start of his profession, and the couple tied the knot in 1948. There were countless storms and difficulties that Marty's marriage weathered. Ronnie Robbins continued his father's career in country music, but was never as successful as Marty. Janet Robbins, who had her own distinct sound and dabbled in ambient and rock music, was their daughter. Both of Marty's children carried on the family's musical tradition, even if they pursued different paths. Despite their undying love, Marty's demanding job, long travels, and deep passion for racing caused frequent stress for the family. Marizona was left to take care of the family alone because Marty was gone for long periods of time for racing or concerts. However, she remained at his side through thick and thin, and their love blossomed during their darkest hours. Nevertheless, the stresses at home paled in comparison to Marty's troubles. Marty, a country singer noted for his distinctive Western storytelling style, rose to fame rapidly while simultaneously taking a lot of heat during the 60s and 70s. When rock and roll and pop music took over the charts, many people dismissed Marty's music because of its Western theme. Some record producers tried to get Marty to bend to their commercial demands, but Marty was too stubborn to give in. He stuck to his artistic vision even when faced with criticism and conflicts in his career. His unwavering dedication to being authentic laid the groundwork for his lasting impact. An epic feud ensued between Marty and his record labels after he rejected their demands to alter the lyrics of his songs. He never wavered from penning songs that were brimming with authentic storylines and Western images. This rejection caused professional ties to become strained and put the music industry under a lot of pressure. But Marty thought that keeping to his artistic principles was more important than winning the critics. Aside from music, Marty has tried his hand at acting, appearing in numerous Western films such as Ballad of a Gunfighter 1964 and Hell on Wheels 1967. Despite the fact that his cinema projects did not garner as much acclaim as his music career, they showcased his versatility and affection for Western culture, which he had embraced since young childhood. As the well-known legend goes, Marty turned down filming a scene because he felt it didn't match the cowboy image he was going for. His ambitions to be an actor may have been hindered by this moral stance. Nevertheless, it elevated him to the status of a revered, honest guy. Also interfering with Marty's career were serious health problems. After suffering his first heart attack in 1969 while touring, he underwent bypass surgery in 1970. In spite of the doctor's warnings, Marty quickly returned to his demanding performance schedule a few months later. The freedom to enjoy life to the utmost is what allows him to not be afraid of dying, he said once. Unfortunately, his health took a nosedive due to his relentless pursuit of his interests, and he had to fight for breath throughout every performance. The racing world was shocked when Marty removed the restrictor plate from his car on purpose at the 1972 Winston 500. The plate had been mandated by NASCAR to control the car's speed. His daring maneuver allowed him to surpass qualifying times by 15 miles per hour. Although he was penalized for this bold move, the admiration of spectators and competitors was due to his integrity and unwavering determination, Marty stated, rejecting NASCAR's effort to award him the Rookie of the Race recognition. Marty had a near-death experience in the Charlotte 500 2 years later in 1974. Find out who Richard Childress is by. Marty was faced with a critical decision: careen into the wall or slam into the immovable car front of him. He decided on the fly to smash into the wall in order to rescue Childress, but he took a serious beating and nearly lost his right eye in the process. Despite the high cost to himself, Marty's selfless act proved his unwavering commitment to protecting others. As his health declined, Marty persisted in enjoying life to the utmost on stage and in the racing arena. In 1981, Marty suffered a second heart attack and was hospitalized. However, he soon returned to performing. The worst hit came in December 1982, the day after his final performance in Cincinnati, when he suffered his third heart attack. Despite being sent to the hospital for emergency bypass surgery, Marty's frail body was unable to recover. His life was marked by ups and downs, but it was ultimately inspiring. He passed away on December 8, 1982. In his twilight years, Marty also had problems with the press. The unusual public response to the sensationalized reports about his health deeply troubled him. The media doesn't need to feel sorry for me. I would rather have my music remembered than a few major headlines. These factors had little effect on Marty's reputation in the public eye. His supporters say he was always totally absorbed in his profession. Marty Robbins' personal life was a model of honesty, perseverance, and dedication. His unfaltering pursuit of authenticity, along with his love and sacrifice, has created an inspiring and lasting legacy. Leave a lasting impression. Marty Robbins became an iconic character whose impact extended far beyond his 35-year career in the music and sports industries. Throughout his extraordinary career, he was bestowed with numerous accolades, 2 of which were Grammy Awards. For his groundbreaking American country music single, El Paso, he released the first. He was justifiably named Artist of the Decade by the Country Music Association for his consistent contributions to the music. At the pinnacle of his achievements, he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1982, thus establishing his legacy in the country music industry. However, Marty's legacy extends beyond music. His passion for NASCAR left an indelible mark on the sport. Even though he has never raced professionally, Marty is an exceptionally talented driver who managed 6 top 10 finishes. After his passing, NASCAR held the Marty Robbins 420 race to pay tribute to him, a move that showed how much the racing community valued him. Throughout NASCAR's existence, his distinctive purple and green race cars have served as symbols. One of his most famous cars, the Dodge Magnum, is on display at the Talladega Museum, where it continues to tell the story of his intense passion for speed. Marty Robbins may have died unexpectedly at the age of 57, but his music lives on and influences modern country artists. Artists like Keith Urban and Garth Brooks looked up to him because of his unique style of songwriting and stories with a Western theme. Television shows and NASCAR documentaries featuring Marty have further brought his life story to life. He broke down obstacles to pursue his loves of racing and art, but he was also a storyteller, an inspiration, and a pioneer. Whether it's thrilling moments on the track or timeless songs like El Paso. The impression that Marty Robbins left will remain forever. He embodies the power of passion and drive, and he is a living legend in the worlds of music and life. Marty Robbins had an extraordinary journey from a young, poor man in Arizona to a brilliant star in country music and speed. He captivated listeners with his heartfelt melodies and with his example of embracing life's adventures and triumphing over adversity. Inspiring people with his unwavering determination and classic songs like El Paso and his perilous experiences in NASCAR, Marty Robbins' influence extends far beyond the realm of art. Artist or not, Marty Robbins embodied the qualities of perseverance and passion. In spite of setbacks, he proved that greatness is possible by persistence and the pursuit of one's dreams. The story of a guy who devoted his entire life to his art form is just as important as his music in carrying on his legacy. Every member of his family also. In your opinion, what is the significance of Marty Robbins' life and work? Please share your opinions in the comment section below. Make sure Marty Robbins' legacy lives on in the hearts of music lovers everywhere by using the like and subscribe buttons. Behold, our forthcoming video will include you.